Say when, Ryan.
Testing. Hello and welcome to Darling Street Oval. It's Hamilton Olympic taking on Broadmeadow Magic, the second leg of the second semi-final here live on Bar TV tonight, brought to you by Top Better. It's the PlayStation 4 NPL Northern New South Wales. Joining me in commentary tonight, as always, Chris Turner and Damien Smith and boys. You're as excited as I am.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, look at this crowd that's in here. It's unbelievable on a beautiful night. It's the way it was weather. This time last night I was thinking where we were even going to play, but this is beautiful. Pitch is in pretty good conditions, much.
Oh, for sure. It's great atmosphere. It's electrifying at the moment. But to be honest, I'm just thrilled after the last game. The previous game with Edgeworth beat Maitland 2-1. I'm still just on a high from that game.
The pitch at Edgeworth was very impressive, wasn't it?
I was actually quite surprised how dry it was, and it was smeared. Yeah, full credit to Warren Mills.
Yeah, he did send me a text, I think, I forwarded on to you, where they put the colours out, and like in cricket style, they did all of that, and it all looked very, very good underfoot. The ball was rolling nicely, and it was where it should be.
Now on to tonight's match for Broadmeadow Magic as the sides come out. Shane Paul is out. Scott Pettit is back on the bench. Danny Ireland, he's out. I thought there could be a slight chance of him coming in. He's out. Jacob Bailey's out. And the big one, Danny Bird, he's out.
Yeah, they're three big outs for the Olympic. I thought, especially Danny Ireland is a massive loss. We said it last week. You know what? He's a 9-point goalkeeper. But Bird and Bailey out, they're very big losses. Magic with the same lineup. Shane Paul's out. He was out again last week. But I don't know. It's going to be a very tight game. And you know what? I think Olympic's a chance here.
Well, I'm tipping Olympic to win this match, but I think Broadmeadow will go through. Now, the stat for tonight, the stat is Magic have never won a finals match at Darling Street. Their last win here was in 2013. So it's been a long time. That was actually their last win against Hamilton before last weekend.
Well, a couple of quick things. We've got the headsets on tonight. I've just taken mine off. Got to put a bit of disclosure out there. I'm really sitting with that comfortably. But either side of me, Damien on the left and Bart on the right, they've got their headsets on. The other thing that's significant, Damien's left his glasses at home, so he's blind as a bat anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure how you're going to go and pass out of the parks much.
I'm blind as a bat at night, so we'll just call it anything. So, but just another noticeable absentee for Magic is Robert Vigili, obviously given a 1-week suspension after calmly talking to the linesman about a decision. Very calmly. So, and just on that, so he got a 1-match ban. I'll read the criteria when the game starts, but obviously he has to be 70 metres away from the change room. So, from all reports, he's in his Olympic attire, hiding somewhere.
Could be, and maybe, maybe just outside the door there. You wouldn't know.
So Andrew Digby, sorry to cut you off, CT. We'll just take the kick off. But Andrew Digby is our referee tonight. He's going to get us underway. It's going to be Olympic from right to left of screen in their blue kit. Magic left to right in their red kit. The yellow numbers, and we're underway. Tommy Spencer across to the far side for Simon Mooney. Big crowd on the far side on Luke Vigili. He's into Simon Mooney already. And Josh Piddington now. But what a moment for Luke Vigili last week. That could be the turning point in this tie, depending on what happens tonight.
Yeah, well, we covered off extensively, didn't we, right on half-time, and what a save that was from him. And he's made his intention very, very clear with Simon Mooney right there that he's in for a big game tonight again.
Yeah, we made the call last week that Luke Vigili saved the tie for Magic right on half-time. Because I think if Olympic are up 2-0 at half-time, there's no stopping them. But today's game, quite interesting for Magic. You know, they've got the advantage. Talking to Bobby Newmoff before the game, you know, they want to go into positive.
The top and the free kick goes Magic's way.
Yeah, they want to go in a positive mindset. The score for them at the moment is 0-0. Okay, this is a new game for them. They're out there to win. But the other thing he said, which is really important, is obviously they don't want to commit numbers, too many numbers more, because obviously, you know, this is a spot in the grand final, so obviously they need the result they need. It's chilly out there. Yeah, from this angle it doesn't look that deep, but when you actually look closer, it actually looks a little bit it's a deep over here. So just going back on Rob Vigili, yeah, his 1-match ban consists of, we'll hopefully get him for an interview today. okay, but obviously he's not going to talk to me as part of his on-match ban criteria.
Driving in was Matt Hall. Swat, the free kick goes Olympics way.
Just quickly, Swat, you call yourself an idiot?
Not really, no. But yeah, part of his ban, he's not allowed to talk to players 2 hours before or 1 hour after. He's not allowed to go into change rooms, obviously. Yes, 70 metres away from the change rooms. Not allowed to talk to the media. So he told me he's going to be in his Olympic outfit in disguise today, somewhere around the ground. So
it's some criteria, I must say. Very much so. As here's Leo Burtos standing over the free kick. A little bit further out than we saw Brent Hamill score today for Edgeworth. Here is Burtos, low and straight into Michael Kanarowski in the wall. Still Burtos, into Swan. And now Vigili. Way down this near side. Kyle Hodges, he's got all the hair off now. He's going for the big bulge look.
Where were you last week, Mark? You had it off last week.
I wasn't here. I was out in the WPL.
Oh, that's right, you were too. Yeah, we said he'd do anything to be remain captain in the side. He would take after his coach.
Chile, over to Barber. Back to Jordan. To Hartnett, and a good shot. Pressure on him. Just Damien, in terms of the formations for the Lions, that's how they're learning it today.
Yeah, Magic going in with a 4-4-2. Two strikers, like last week, Vigili and Bradbury with Hazy just in behind, and then they've got three deep midfielders. And King on the right, and Matty
The hardest part for Olympics today is the Magic is so much wide now. They've always got a goal. I think they're scoring over 2 goals a game. So, and you know what? The Magic can't afford to concede a goal tonight. Otherwise, it makes very difficult for them.
Turned the tie around for the Broadmeadow Magic last week in that goal just after half-time. Jaden Barber. There with the interception.
Just on Jaden Barber, he had an injury cloud over his name this week, but obviously he's quite fit, ready to go today.
Let's go back into the side for Olympic after that suspension last weekend.
Just on behalf of Bar TV, we'd like to say hello to Damien Zane. I know he's watching live, watching the coverage tonight. And I asked him just prior to kick off.
There's Cooper with a shot. Very open start to this match.
Yeah, surprising to be honest. I don't think Mick Bolsh will be liking that. A really open game because obviously he doesn't want to concede.
But on the flip side of it, he probably doesn't mind because it's opening up early and they can create some opportunities. They'd love nothing more than getting out of the goal.
Yeah, that's right. If they can get an early goal, they can just settle, and then really push hard in the last, say, 15, 20 minutes like Maitland did today. All they need to do is win 2 goals and they're through. But sorry, just going back on Damien Zane, just talking to him after their victory today. I asked him, so he's watching live at the moment, but just asked him whose his preference was for playing in the GF next week, and he said we take one game at a time now. The next focus is Western Sydney Rockers. And then I asked him who do I think he'll win, and he said from the tie last week, he think Magic will get through, especially with Island, Bird, and Bailey out.
It's very physical early on. Swan. And they're on Michael Kanarowski, the crowd getting involved, a massive crowd at Darling Street tonight, as you would expect. There's always a massive crowd for these derbies when we play in the finals.
A lot of feeling, yeah.
You know, sure the interview's got some players out. However, the guys that come in, they're all using things.
Goes to Peter Haynes. Race Cooper is there. Chips over the top towards Bradbury. Tom Pullen comes out. Does a good job. That'll be a confidence booster for Tom Pullen.
Just on that point there, Smudge, if you're going to play week in, week out, like Jake Barlow do, you just work on you're training you're doing that, but you get this one-off opportunity. You come in and you can just be buzzing your lights through this game. And for me, I don't actually mind that as a coach.
Race Cooper, he turns it over to Peter Haynes. Peter Haynes, and he gets away from Race Cooper. Towards Bradbury, just coming back. Good job defensively with Grant Brown.
But this is where I think you have to be careful. Even when they're pushing numbers forward, it's opening them up at the back. They can't afford Magic to score a goal, especially early on.
Broadmeadow have had some great plays in the past, and
Are you talking about me?
well, I'm not talking about a goal you scored in reserve grade a few years ago, but one of them is Brady Parker, who sends me a text from Coffs Harbour.
Finlayson goes wide to James Virgili. Had a chance earlier on. Still Virgili across the face. Kyle Hodges just toes it away to Leo Bertos. Still Bertos. And he does well. He's former New Zealand international. Goes over the top looking for good job. Piddington. Back to Spencer. He's been an important cog in the Hamilton Olympic whale this year. There's Tommy Spencer, number 35. He's been crucial. Kanarowski over the top. Tom Pullen as well. Nice sweeping there from Tom Pullen at the back.
And to refresh your memory on Brady Parker, he's probably got the sweetest, most powerful left foot in the Northern football scene for a long time. Probably as far back for me as Cole Curran.
Cole Curran?
Sure, Cole Bunny Curran. He had a strike, and that resembles that one. 30 years later of Brady Parker.
So we see a little bit of hugging going on.
Yeah, a bit of feeling in there, Bart.
Peter
Yeah,
Haynes
between
and
Haynes.
Reece Cooper. Was that a bit of a joke, or was there a little bit of feeling in that?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it was a bit of a strong challenge, so I don't think Peter Haynes really liked it, to be honest.
Here's Matt Hoole over the free kick. Whips it in nicely.
Just on Matt Hill's deliveries, that's how they scored last week with Peter Haynes. They were superb deliveries last week, and that then again putting pressure. And the other thing is, a keeper like Danny Island comes for those. We're pulling a little bit smaller in stature. He sort of sits on his line.
And the ball is whizzing around tonight, isn't it? Compared to Edgeworth this afternoon, the ball is flying everywhere.
Yeah, dew on the ground, isn't it, CT?
I was going to say, yeah, the moisture in the air and the moisture on the ground is going to contribute to that for sure. And that creates more opportunities.
So it's Cale Bradbury towards the near post. Grant Brown. Sorry, this is Cale Bradbury now. It was Matt Hoole with the corner. And Spencer gets it away. And Cody Lucas up to Goodschild. And Lucas sends Reece Cooper down this near side. Luke Virgili is herring after him, and Cooper can't keep it in. Goes clattering into the fence as Reece Cooper. It'll be a throw to Magic. And that dew on the ground, it'll really help the quality of football as well. The ball.
Yeah, the ball movement's a lot better. As we saw at Edgeworth today, the ball movement probably wasn't as quick as probably I know Damien Zane would have liked.
This kind of pitch would have suited Edgeworth to a taste. Peter Haynes loses his captain's armband. Captain's armband for Peter Haynes.
Just on Peter Haynes, I spoke to Peter Haynes. He was watching the end of the Edgeworth game on Bar TV, and he gave me a call afterwards, and I asked him about tonight's game, and he is very excited about it. He loves playing at night, but more importantly, this is for a spot in the grand final.
And his first grand final it will be since 2013, I should say. 2013 when they beat the Lambton Jaffers 4-1. Luke Virgili goes up the ground. And there was Haynes with a touch. Over to Bradbury. Cody Lucas doing a good defensive job on him. Virgili looking for his brother on this near side. Andrew Swan with the header away. Now with Hoole. Jaden Barber. Hoole again. 6 grand final wins for Hamilton Olympic. Same for Broadmeadow Magic, these two rivals, equal in grand final wins. We'll find out if either can add to it next week. One of them will be there. It's Magic at the moment that will be going through 3-1. The lead from the first leg. How much do you guys think that goal from Cale Bradbury in the 95th minute hurt Magic? Hurt Olympic, I should say.
Massive. We said during the call that Olympic did need to be careful that they don't concede the third goal because it makes it a lot more difficult at home. And the pressure's on Olympic here. If they concede, that's an away goal. So,
yeah, I completely agree with that because, you know what, Olympic are almost forced to score the first goal. That if they don't, that potentially the bubble bursts, and it'll be really interesting to see how they come back from that. Just mentally, it'd be a tough thing to get over that you've got to score, that many goals. So, it makes it really difficult.
As here's a little touch on towards Goodchild, but we've got a free kick. I wasn't quite sure what that was for.
I think a little push in the back by Johnny Griff. But you know what? Set pieces tonight could be very dangerous. The ball can skid off a player or even the dewy ground. So any free kick in their half, in the attacking half, could be very potentially dangerous. TC?
Oh, for sure. And like I would love, either way, a goal from one of the sides. But if it certainly comes from Olympic, this place is going to go.
Here's the ball to the back post. Matt Swan across the face. Cleared over the sideline. And for the contest's sake, you do hope Olympic get the first goal.
Well, for the contest's sake, for sure.
Here's Matt Swan. Can he pull something out of his bag of tricks? Simon Mooney touch a little bit heavy.
Yeah, Matt Swan had a chance to pull the trigger there.
Reece Cooper. Across to Andrew Swan towards Simon Mooney at the back post. And he's cut back straight to Nick Hartnett in goals.
Just looking at Magic's setup. I know last week they were playing the 4-4-2 with Bradbury and Vigili really narrow. I've noticed already they're starting to drift a little bit wider, and that's where they're dangerous, getting in one-on-one situations, allowing them, like I said, to attack the right and left fullback.
So Reece Cooper did well in the middle of the park with Bertos, the absence of Bailey, and it'd be good to see how he goes backing up a second time round because now this one's not fresh and brand new. But he's got a really big game in front of him because he's got a very strong opposition like attack in Magic.
Here's Jaden Barber. Turns away from Andrew Swan. And then decides he'll go back to Nick Hartnett. Tommy Spencer diving in, and the Magic fans didn't appreciate that.
Hey, Bart, I can see a few yellow cards popping out tonight.
Any reds?
You know what? I'm not going to discount it at the moment.
Actually, I will say this. I went to my brother's game just a moment ago. My brother's team won the game. One of his players got sent off at the end of the game after full time for saying something to the referee.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
How gutting's that?
Yeah,
Joel Griffiths got the same treatment for the Jets a few years ago, but a grand final. You miss a grand final for something you did after the whistle.
It happens,
especially at this level.
Here's the header and the free kick.
It's going to be on their minds if you get sent off here and you miss next week's game. It's just a massive blow personally, isn't it? So it's going to be on your mind. So are you going to do something stupid? Gee, you'd have to have a brain snap to have that happen.
You know what? Back in 2011, a young player called Andrew Hull, who's now playing for the Newcastle Jets, got 2 yellow cards, a yellow card near the semi, and he couldn't play the grand final either. And also Michael Kanarowski the following year for us when we played Olympic and beat Olympic 4-1. So, but yellow cards are different in the semi-final series this year.
Yeah, you've got to get 3 yellow cards in 2 matches, which, by my calculations, is impossible to be suspended for the grand final.
Yeah, I actually did 4 at maths, and I still can't work that one out. Yeah,
I can't. Yeah. So the free kick to Broadmeadow, Josh Piddington. Magic's weakness this season has been defence. But attack has been very, very impressive. They're equal with Hamilton on 49 goals this season.
Yeah, what they committed a lot of numbers forward, which is great for attack, but also you can get caught spiraling out the back. And that's been obviously a part of their downfall. And that's what Bobby Newmoff said to me prior to the game. They're going to attack, but they're not going to force numbers to go forward because obviously, they just, they don't need to cop 2 goals tonight to win the game.
There's Kane Goodchild, the golden boot this year. The other thing I want to ask you two is Olympic. This is arguably they've lost their 2 biggest games of the season as Leo Bertos, the touch on to Goodchild. So they won 18 regular season matches. The FFA Cup match to get them through to the round of 32, they lost that to Lambton Jaffers. And then last week they lost to Broadmeadow Magic. What do you think the issue has been for them in the big matches? I know Ireland and Jacob Bailey were out last week. But
yeah, you know what? There's some real key players out. But and
Leo Bertos missed that match at Lake Macquarie against the Jaffers. That's a huge loss too. So I think they've just had probably not much luck in that regard. Big matches, the big players haven't
but even on that FFA Cup, it was on a different pitch. It was on the synthetic pitch, and they were playing Lambton Jaffers, and it was teaming down virtually the whole game. We made it very difficult for them.
Here's a flick on from Goodchild. Matt Swan putting pressure on Piddington, who puts it over the sideline.
But Bart, also it comes down to pressure of the big games. Hey, TC.
Yeah, it sure does. I think, when you got conditions like that at Lake Macquarie where you're on synthetic and it's absolutely bucketing down, it's a different game, Smudge, it's a whole different setup. So, yeah, sure, they'd be gutted by it.
Vigili with the clearance away. And wasn't it ironic that when the Jaffers played in the round of 32, they played in teeming rain again at Devonport?
It was really good having a chat to Hayden Fox, Western Sydney Wanderers assistant coach there today. And obviously they're taking the game very serious on Tuesday night against Edgeworth. So
had a cameraman there as well, filming the game from the other side of the field. At
yeah, their football analysis was filming the game, and they've watched about the past 3 or 4 games on Edgeworth. So they're very, very focused on Tuesday night.
And I loved the questions you asked, Smudge. They were really good, and I thought the best one was about Tony Popovich. Why he's such a good coach.
And that's what they talk about Damien Zane. It's attention to detail. I think all the players just to talk about us like that, CT.
Jaden Barber with the throw. Vigili. Touch back to Barber. Here's Finlayson. And over the sideline for an Olympic throw.
Well, talking about attention to detail, I was walking through with you, Smudge, through the Olympic warm-up arena, and Kane Goodchild came over and said, is your surname... or your mother's surname originally Jennings? And I said yes. So for the viewers, my cousin, long-term Socceroo Graham Jennings, is my first cousin, and apparently Goodchild has the same cousins. I haven't really wrapped my head around that. All that really concerned me is that he and I potentially related, Smudge.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Kane, actually.
So we'll work that one out later. And Animal, if you're at home, this is not a good thing.
Goodchild on the ball. And the free kick. We've sent a lot of free kicks early on.
Yeah, it's been a physical game. It's intense. A lot at stake. You know what? There's nothing better than playing in a grand final.
So finals matches, Olympic v Magic. They've played 8. Olympic have won 4. Magic 3, drawn 1. The matches that have been played here at Darling Street, Olympic won 4-2 in 1998. They won 7-6 on penalties after a 1-1 draw in 1999. And then in 2012... they won 3-1 here at Darling Street against Damien Smith's Magic. Do you remember that one well? As this ball goes in, Tom Pullen grabs that. You went on to win the grand final against them, but do you remember that one here?
Yeah, I do. I prefer to talk about the grand final, the 4-1 win in the grand final.
We see a yellow card go the way of Peter Haynes. Was that for getting in the road of the goal kick?
Yeah, it looked like it. Peter Haynes getting a little bit frustrated out there, just on a few challenges. He's lost his captain's armband.
Came off. He didn't lose the captaincy, but it came off his arm.
Oh, it came off his arm, yeah. That's what I meant.
And it's going to have to be retaken.
And before I go any further, love you, Goody. In case you are related, deeply love you. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of that one later.
Tom Pullen, you're going to have to go on one of those TV shows, Find My Family or something like that.
Oh no, I think we've found it. Anyway, we'll move on.
Make sure you get some emotion in there.
Oh, it's okay. We went down to Snow's Patisserie this afternoon and had a coffee together, and that was before we knew we were related.
Here's the ball over the top. Kyle Hodges going back and looking for Simon Mooney, who's been a mainstay of Olympic in the back half of the season. He wasn't so early on, but due to some injuries, he's come back into the side. Here is Mooney. Nice ball towards the back post. Matt Swan was there.
Great ball by Mooney.
Jaden Barber with the clearance.
Yeah, terrific ball from Simon, straight into the area that's going to be most dangerous. Unfortunately, not on the back end of it.
Just over 21 minutes gone here on Bar TV. Brought to you by Top Better. Here's the ball through. Vigili's offside. And Olympic fans love that.
You know what? That's Magic's key. Playing in the striker's feet, back to Haynes, and then either he's playing into Vigili or Bradbury on the run.
Yeah, I was just going to say around 21. 21 minutes, just over 21 minutes gone here at Darling Street. This Bar TV coverage brought to you by Top Better. Get in the game with Top Better, the major broadcast partner of all our winter codes. Have you been on Top Better, CT, for this one?
Yeah, I've had a good look today, and you get some wonderful odds on Hamilton Olympic.
I'm sure you would. Yes, here's Leo Bertos being dispossessed, and that'll frustrate Magic fans more as the free kick goes Olympics' way.
Just more importantly there, Michael Canarossi just got the touch, went to Haynes, and then Vigili was on his bike. You can tell that's their set play for tonight.
And if you did put a bet on Top Better with Olympic, you'd probably be happy with the way they're shaping up. They seem to be getting good territory at the moment, and you'd probably get about $6.
There's the header from Piddington. He's going to be a tough man to beat at centre defence tonight for Broadmeadow Magic as Kyle Hodges backtracks, goes back to Tom Pullen in goals. As we mentioned, he was the first choice goalkeeper for South Cardiff last season. They've been in the new FM division this year of South Cardiff. Not a great season for them, which is a good segue into tomorrow. Bell Swans v Walls End, 3 p.m. tomorrow, live on Bar TV at Jack McLaughlin Oval at Edgeworth.
Looking forward to that, Bart, and looking forward to catching up with Dave Hodgson.
Dave Hodgson's actually here tonight watching Olympic. He's a former Olympic captain.
He's had plenty of time here, Smudge, and he's had plenty of success here as well.
And I believe he would have been the captain in about the 2013-2012 grand final.
Yeah, he was.
Area.
Yep, I had a chat to him about that. So
it's over the top. Piddington with the header. Kanarowski brings it down and plays it through for Bradbury. Big moment for Broadmeadow. Tom Pullen grabs him. The crowd say they want a Magic fans baying for a penalty.
To me, it looked like a good save from Tommy Pullen from this distance. But in saying that, I haven't got my spectacles on.
Yeah, so it did. He looked like he came out, had two good hands on it. And, it's just the way that it panned out.
Yep, I'm happy. No I thought Andrew Digby got that spot on.
Just on Andrew Digby, this is going to be his last year of first grade football refereeing. And he wanted me to mention that he once played tennis with Kamal.
Here's Matt Swan. Now Kanarowski. Peter Haynes on to Vigili. And now it's with Leo Bertos. Still Bertos. Outwitting Michael Finlayson as of the minute. And now Jaden Barber decides he'll join in.
So, are you serious, Mudge? You played tennis with Kamal. How did that happen?
Kamal. Oh, I don't know how it happened, but he did.
Who won?
It was 6-4, 6-4, 7-5 to Digby.
Straight sets.
Straight sets.
So, yeah.
Here's Simon Mooney. Gee, that's a long time. They were playing a 5-setter, were they?
So just on Digby, it'd be great if you got the grand final next week to cap off a tremendous career.
Well, here is Andrew Swan. Have you got the scoop on who may get it? But Leo Bertos down into the corner and a goal kick.
I actually don't, but
Trent
I think
Nash.
Diggers must be a chance. Obviously retiring, and you know what? He's been a standout this year.
He has. He's been very, very good.
He has, and all jokes aside, for Diggers, every time he's had the whistle in his mouth, you virtually don't know he's on the park. He just keeps things going, and where on games and nights like tonight, they've got the potential to flare up. He seems to keep them under control well, and hopefully he'll do the same tonight. But in previous occasions, he's certainly done that.
Yeah, you know what? He's very calm with the players. When things do bust up, he talks to the players, which is, I think, a key for a referee.
And Trent Nash refereed last year's grand final. He was fourth official Edgeworth this afternoon, so see if he... And, of course, Ryan Gallagher, assistant referee in the A-League, so sideline official, so he's also in the running.
Yeah, and Glenn Peterkin, did you mention that today?
Glenn Peterkin today.
Yeah, who had a baby boy a few months ago called Cooper.
So those four, it's between those four.
I thought Ryan Gallagher had a good game up at Maitland that day. That was very tough conditions. Maitland versus Edgeworth last week.
He sure did. I actually thought he controlled that game very, very well because it could have spilt over once or twice and he was able to capture it at the right time. So, he's another great referee that we've got in this region. And I know that we struggle with referees and getting numbers and things, but the guys that we do and we produce and we train and we end up with the result of like we're seeing tonight and with Ryan, etc., with Peterkin, that you mentioned just had a baby. It's all good news. So, we encourage lots of people to get involved. from the younger age group, because we need more referees and officials coming through, because it's not an easy job.
Great turn by Goodchild then.
Wonderful
Great turn by Goodchild.
Oh, I loved it from my cousin. He did brilliant.
So
unfortunately for Kane.
It's Reece Cooper who's going to stand over it.
Still in shock.
Here's Cooper. Bending it towards Tommy Spencer, but Piddington was over there and bumped him over. It's another goal kick.
You know what, Reece Cooper there, he's got a beautiful ball in, but you know what I'll be doing? I'll be doing exactly the same ball, but aiming at the goals, because the ball could skid off anywhere.
Now, Tommy Spencer's still down. He got hit by Josh Piddington in the side, I think. Piddington came in to his side there, so that may have just sort of blindsided him and winded him. Maybe like Don Bazzari was this afternoon. But I just hope we get some drama like we did at Edgeworth this afternoon. What drama we had this afternoon. I think you just got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it because you don't get it that often, do you? You know, in the two-leg format, sometimes it can get away. And this afternoon, last year was almightily close. Edgeworth getting through on away goals and Olympic getting through in extra time. And you know this year, you just hope for the same.
Exactly, and full credit to Maitland. You know, tactically, I thought they were very good. You know, they waited till the last 15 minutes to attack, and they were unlucky in the end. But to be honest, Edgeworth has been the best side all year. They deserve the result today, and you know what? They deserve to be there in the last game of the season.
Totally agree. And look, Maitland did do the right things tactically today, and they did hold them out well. And I thought, you know, terrific for the club. They would be very excited.
Here's Peter Haynes with a header just going over the bar. That was a big moment in the match. 28 and a bit minutes in. I was just gonna mention Reece Thompson, as you'd expect. He was dejected at the end of that match. You know, it's so close. He was dejected.
Yeah, and don't blame me.
So close.
Especially Cumberford's shot with about 5 to go on top corner, and Fogarty pulls out a great save.
Look, he's a great guy, Reece, and he just wears it all on the sleeve. And he's, like I said before, he's right in there with his players. He's a very, very good networker, good communicator, and you'd see it just gutted him after the game. I didn't get a chance to speak to him, but I knew how much it would have hurt them. But having said that, great congratulations to the club, because you've come a long way, and should be very proud of what they've achieved this year.
Spencer over the top, sending Mooney down the left, but who's there? It's Josh Piddington. Steps away from Mooney, who tries to give him a bit of a tug, and the free kick goes Magic's way, as you would expect.
Piddington, absolute class there. He defended off Mooney, nice and easy, really calm under pressure, and got the foul. Him and Johnny Griff have been very rock solid in the centre of defence for Magic.
Haven't they ever? And what about that little turn from Piddo there under pressure?
What do you think Mick Bolcher's thinking right now? If you were him, what would you guys be thinking?
Well, I'd be thinking that, you know, you want to get on the score sheet as quickly as you can, because the longer you leave it, the harder it's going to get, obviously, without stating the obvious. But he's just thinking, all right, let's get into their territory as much as we can. Let's go down and play there and put some Nick Hartnett under pressure and Piddington and Griffiths under pressure as much as we can, because if we can do that, then we can...
Here's Hoole swinging it in towards the back post. It's Haynes again with the header.
Because if we can do that, we can create some opportunities. At the moment, if the ball's sitting down there, and like we just said, you know, Broadmeadow got creating some opportunities, and we're just thinking, if you're Michael Bolt, you just don't want to be playing in those sorts of areas much.
Yeah, just on that delivery there, great delivery by Hoole. But if that was Daniel Ireland, he would come and grab that. Nothing against Tommy Pullen, but Daniel Ireland with his height, he'd just come and grab that straight out of the air.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think Peter Haynes missed that type of delivery from Matt Hoole over the opening half of the season? I know you said Danny Ireland would have grabbed it, but he must have missed him with balls like that. Virgili down to the corner. Cuts it back towards Finlayson. Grant Brown's there with the header away. Playing for the opposite side that he did last year in the semi-final series. He was with Lambton against Hamilton last year. As here's Reece Cooper. Works with Griffiths. And now with Spencer. Still Bertos with his opposite number, Finlayson.
Just going back on what you're saying too. So if I was Mick Bolch, I wouldn't be too worried at the moment. You know what? It could be 0 all half time. If you can score nice and early in the second half, then the pressure's on Magic.
Ball over the top, Goodchild. And then Virgili clearing it away. Hodges getting in, and the free kick to Hamilton. So Peter Haynes giving that one away. Bertos wants to play it on quickly. Goes wide to Grant Brown. Now to Matt Swan. Still Matt Swan, but Luke Virgili, geez, good on that left side.
Yeah, he's been superb this year, Luke Virgili.
Now with Cody Lucas. Scored a thunderous goal against Western earlier in the season. Matt Swan. Back to Brown. Kanarowski with the header away. They've just repelled everything, haven't they? Broadmeadow, it's mainly been balls into the box, headers away.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? There's Olympics still a great chance at the moment. I'll tell you what. If they get a goal just before half time or even after half time, provided they don't concede, if they concede, then there's a concern.
And if they win 2-0, they're through.
That's right. And that's what you'll be playing for. Try get a goal, just sit up for a bit, then push for the last 15. Like Maitland did today.
Reece Cooper trying to play it through. Matt Hoole over the top for Virgili. So James Virgili, it's a tough angle out there. He's got Peter Haynes flowing through in the middle. Carl Bradbury there as well. And
great challenge.
Fantastic.
Great challenge.
Andrew Swan. And now Mooney with a touch over the top towards Spencer. Keeps it in, and Spencer involving himself in a bit of push and shove with Michael Finlayson. There's a lot of feeling out there tonight.
TC, just some absolutely devastating news I've just heard from the crowd. They've ran out of chicken schnitzels. I was going to get one at half time, but they've ran out of chicken schnitzel burgers at Olympic.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious.
I got one down the far end. They've got these a new tent that I've not seen down there before. They've got these chicken kebab things. I wish I'd studied my Greek. But it looks beautiful.
But the only reason why I'm here is for the chicken schnitzel burgers. So we're the best in towns, bar Harry's Schnitzels.
Yeah, bar Harry's. But this thing down the end's not too bad. It's got a little pita bread with a bit of lamb. It's a bit of, yeah.
So a Hamilton Olympic throw. I mentioned it earlier, the sides that have been undefeated. We might come back to that after Simon Mooney. Now for Matt Swan. Grant Brown charging down that far side. Leo Bertos turns it over. Now Virgili and Mooney come together. It's going to be a card. Simon Mooney goes into the book. Now, I just wanted to mention undefeated sides in the NPL dating back to 1929, okay? So we get Edgeworth 99. They lost 2-1 to Adamstown in the preliminary final. Western in 96. They lost the grand final to Highfields Azuri 3-2. Edgeworth in 1978. They were the only side to go undefeated and win the grand final. They beat Western 2-0. And Dudley, well, I'm not sure about Dudley. They went undefeated in 1949. They played Cardiff in the grand final, but I can't find the result. It's not on the website. So if anyone knows that result, let us know. So it would be an incredible achievement if Olympic were to go undefeated and win the grand final, because not too many sides do it. Here is Leo Bertos. And in terms of going undefeated and not winning the minor premiership, no side has done it since 1929 at least, for everything we've looked at.
Yeah, and talking to Damien Zane, that's a slight difference about Edgeworth and Olympic. They have one draw all season. They play the full 90 minutes. They try and close it. I know Olympic do, but I don't know. They just seem to have a bit more artillery, don't they?
The back end. It's the back end where Edgeworth have won a majority of their matches.
Yeah, that last 15 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
Goals in the final 15. It was again the case this afternoon. Barber swinging it in. Cody Lucas sits up for Carl Bradbury. We know how lethal his shot is. Here's Cooper. Passes straight to Kanarowski.
Defensively, Magic have set up really tight. They've got their four at the back. They've got their three deep midfielders. And Kanarowski's not pushing forward at all. So they've got like 5 players at the back. You won't see the left and right fullback go forward either. So they're going to make it life hard for Olympic tonight.
What I have noticed about the back four is that at times they've been a bit flat, so they've got to be careful of that, because Goodchild is very, very strong in driving through the line. And if he splits that line, he's one-on-one with the keeper. So they've got to be aware of that and show a little bit of balance and some cover, and not be as flat all of the time.
Inside the final 9 minutes before the break here on Bar TV, semi-final number 2, the second leg. It's It's Magic with a 3-1 lead based on the first leg.
I've noticed Virgili's he's starting out wide on this right-hand side a lot tonight. Where last week, especially first half, it was him and Bradbury were playing more central, which they didn't really penetrate at all. Olympic looked comfortable. But then second half, he started playing a bit wider like Bradbury, got him one-on-one situations, and that's what they're very good at.
Jaden Barber goes low, straight into Tommy Spencer. Swan back to Spencer. And Spencer, very crafty player, but on that occasion couldn't find the mark. Interception from Cody Lucas. If he didn't get there, Cale Bradbury was on his bike. Cody Lucas now goes to Spencer. Cross to Cooper. Matt Hoole in his back.
Just the contrast between the two games, this game and the game earlier. The speed of this game is a lot quicker, mainly due to the dew and the cool night.
Reece Cooper gets in. It is another ball in the box looking for heads, but it's back for Andrew Swan. Got a ball from his brother Matt. Back to Matt. Across the face, John Grivis.
And the ground is buzzing, Smudge. Like, if you look across to our left and our right, it is absolutely chock-a-block. I'm not sure if you can pick it up in the camera. And great crowd on the far side of the park and behind the goals, but particularly through this side. I can't remember seeing a crowd of this size in this ground.
Yeah, no, it's great. Actually, the last time I seen...
Bertos winging it in. Reece Cooper going up for the header, and it's another goal kick.
He was unlucky there, Reece Cooper, going up for the header. Yeah, I agree, TC. It's a great crowd. They're lined up virtually all across the back side, or the far side.
If Olympic were to win this, it would go down as one of their greatest comebacks, you would have to think. It would hurt Magic a lot.
I remember a few years ago, we lost the semi-final 2-1 at Western, and then we played, and our main goal, like we thought, we had a big chance to win 1-0. That's what our focus was. And we ended up winning like about 3-0 in the end. So, I know, the home team, they should be confident.
Here's Peter Haynes. Looking wide for James Virgili, but Andrew Swan gets back and plays it to Tom Pullen, who's done very well in the opening half.
Yeah, he has done
this
well.
Afternoon. And I don't think he probably could be to blame for the goals last weekend. Peter Haynes with a header, and then Bradbury a couple of goals late.
Well, you know what, he has done well, and we spoke about this last week. I think it was. He's had he's had some time at South Cardiff. First grade football is not new to him.
Here's Matt Swan getting in the box. Mooney's shot deflects.
It's well played by Olympic. Just threatening the goal a little bit more.
Tell you what, a connection there from Mooney, and you know it's something is going to be that simple could make a difference.
And you just sense that goal. If they grab a goal, as you said, Damien.
Especially just before half-time. Or even just after half-time. It makes it really tense for Magic. But like we keep saying, they need to be careful. They can't commit numbers forward just yet, because if they do leak one, then they're in a bit of strife.
Kyle Hodges heads it over the sideline. In front of the Magic bench, just in front of us at Darling Street this evening.
We've got Broadmeadow Magic President Steve Fotef on our left, just down there. Damien, be great if we could get a word with him, just get his feelings on where things are up to at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking a bit nervous, little Stevie up there.
Well, he's a very calm character anyway. He's a lot less nervous if this goes in.
Here's Finlayson. Looks towards the back post, Michael Finlayson, and gee, that only just missed.
But if we can get a minute or two with Steve at some point in the game, that'd be great. Smudge, you're a bit closer to physically to him than what I am.
If we can fit up here, it is jam-packed at Darling Street tonight. Just repeating those other scores, so Magic won the 19s against Olympic 3-1 and the Jets beat Olympic 5-0. So the grand finals next week. As Simon Mooney, John Griffiths gets
Johnny Griffith, that's a great challenge. Mooney was on goal there.
Those other scores, so I should say there's other grand finals. Under 19s next week. That'll be with myself, Chris Turner and Graham Law. Magic are playing Western. And in the 22s with Damien, Daniel Herrera and Graham Law, it'll be Magic taking on the Jets Youth. Second year in a row the Jets Youth made the 22s grand final. They played Edgeworth last year and went down in a penalty shootout. Cody Lucas towards the back post and Jaden Barber heads away, but Kyle Hodges come down, bring it wide to Bertos. Bertos to Swan. To Hodges again. And then Finlayson.
Finlayson's been busy for Magic in the first half.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been very busy in attack and defence. We just had local footballing identity Steve Smythe walk
I'd
past.
say icon.
Icon?
Yeah, he's an icon.
Love it.
Newcastle.
Love the smudge. Loves you to get down the Duke.
Well, actually, my brother's playing the team he coaches. His son's side next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Next Saturday.
Well, we love that. And anytime you go down the Duke, he's always giving out free beers. Just go down there and say you follow, Magic, and he gives you beer. So just go and try that out.
Here's
You won't mind.
Here's Reece Cooper. Now with Spencer.
Oh,
Now back for Reece Cooper. Stabs it over towards Simon Mooney, who keeps it in. Rolls it towards the back post. Back for Spencer. Spencer dodges away from Finlayson, but Magic swarm around him. Reece Cooper goes low. Now Grant Brown with the outside of his boot puts it over. We're going to cover that grand final next week. Next Saturday. The big one between Smuts' Lambton and New Lambton.
CT will be there.
I'll tell you what.
I don't think we'll have the money. I don't think we'll have the money to do that one.
If you get smudged there, I'm straight in.
Here's Nick Hartnett with the goal kick.
Hey, Olympics had a few chances just in the past few minutes, so yeah, and I've just noticed that Magic just dropping a little bit deeper in defence. They're trying to close out this half with about 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Olympics' best chances have probably come in the last 5-10 minutes or so. Spencer gets up to Goodchild. Can create something from nothing, Kane Goodchild, just with a little flick on, as can Tommy Spencer. The man they're missing tonight, Daniel Bird, he scored every time that Olympic have played Magic. He scored the last match, the 1-1 draw at Magic Park, and scored a crucial goal right on half-time in the match here. That was huge. That got them 2-1 up.
He's such a threatening player, especially in one-on-one situations. We talk about one-on-one situations.
Simon Mooney's threatened a couple of times as well recently, Smudge. He's looking threatening.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice touch by Matt Swan out the right.
Reece Cooper goes wide towards Grant Brown, but it's over for a Magic throw.
He was spotted down at a River Dirties down at the junction this afternoon, getting some pasta, loading up on some carbs prior to the big game today. Angelo Palozzi was telling me that Simon Mooney was down at River Dirty. Yeah, down there with his mum and dad, Tim and Lynn. They're in the crowd tonight, Damien, and enjoying it. They love it down there at River Dirty. It's good. It's not far from your place.
Oh, yeah, it's a great spot. But you know what? If you're going to carb low, you do it the night before.
Well, yeah, it was actually yesterday, not today.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Here's Bertos. Swan. Reece Cooper up and over the top to Leo Bertos. Going either side of the ground.
Oh.
Playing it through towards Spencer. And Griffiths gets it away. Now with Peter Haynes. Can he release Virgili? Decides to go towards Bradbury, and it's too heavy.
Yeah, sometimes Pete goes nearly every time he goes. Sometimes he just needs to hold the ball, knock it around a little bit, wait till Virgili and Bradbury are set. So I think if he had his time again, he probably would have just kept the ball.
We've seen him on numerous occasions, though, where he's just been able to pull something special out of the bag where he just hits it, to an absolute two-bob bit and put it right on the spot. I'm not sure if he was indecisive there and then changed his mind at the last second.
And just another thing, you always see Bradbury and Virgili going, I like to see one of them run forward, check back, get the ball, so give himself a bit of space, then take him on.
Yeah,
because both
different option.
Yeah, that's right. Both end, Bradbury and Virgili were going forward. So it'd be good if one could just check off, come back, get the ball, turn.
He scored 12 goals last year, did Peter Haynes for Broadmeadow. Here's the header towards Tom Pullen. 12 goals as Pullen gets bumped, and Peter Haynes is first in there, along with Tommy Spencer. But
yeah, I think Peter was in there on Tommy Pullen.
Yeah, 17 matches played. Leo Bertos has a chat to Andrew Digby, and Peter Haynes gets a yellow card. One
thing we must note about Peter Haynes this year, he scored 6 goals this year. However, he's missed 3 penalties in a row, or maybe 4. So he would have had 10. Yeah, that's right.
I was wondering why it was a little bit less. So
I do apologise for Pete for picking that up again.
That is definitely has something to do with it, but I think James Virgili does as well. Had Cale Bradbury last year, but James Virgili has scored a lot of goals, as we see half-time call by Andrew Digby, and it's 0-0. between Hamilton Olympic and Broadmeadow Magic. And a very tight and tense first half, and probably the best chance was James Virgili in about the opening 5 minutes. Apart from that, not too many chances.
Yeah, it's been end to end. That's for sure. But you know what? This sort of game, it started off, as you said, Smudge, very open, and you're worried about what the coaches might be thinking, or if you're a coach, you're worried about how it's going to go. But you know what? It's got that semi-final feel about it. Like there's got to be a winner tonight.
That's right. And the other thing is, it's very stop-start now, which suits Magic. Magic just want to wind down the clock. You know what? They're going to be happy going in at 0-0. Definitely Magic's going to be happy. But you know what? Bolt should be happy as well. They haven't conceded. That's the main thing. If they concede, they're in trouble. He knows that. So if they can get a goal nice and early in the second half and then really push the last 15 minutes like Maitland did today, you never know. But the one thing is they cannot concede and can't get caught out the back.
And we've seen both defensive lines be very, very strong. Each time that you have that look of determination in the back four from each side, that they're not going to waver. They're not going to give their position away. They're not giving anything away, and if it's in doubt, they're going to clear it. So it's a pure indication that they're going to take safety first. So in that in itself is going to present some risks in terms of clearing it and turning the ball over, etc. So it's going to be great to see how the second half pans out.
And just one thing I noticed, as the players were walking off, Josh Pennington went up to all the Broadmeadow players, slapped them on the back. Come on, boys. One half to go. So, yep, can't wait for the second half, Bart.
All right, we're going to take a quick break over halftime. We'll be back in 10 minutes' time. Halftime here at Darling Street Oval. It's Hamilton Olympic 0, Broadmeadow Magic 0. How many beers have I had? Hello and welcome back to Darling Street Oval for the second half. Broadmeadow Magic level with Hamilton Olympic at half time. Chris Turner will be back in just a sec. He's sitting down. What did you find out at half time?
Damien's actually got comments from both coaches. He's just coming back to his seat now. It's all a little bit frantic down there. Lots of action down and around the tents and marquees. Damien, what did you find out?
Sorry for the lateness, Bart, but the toilet was absolutely jam-packed. So we had a massive line-up to go to the toilet.
I'm not surprised.
I didn't want to actually say that.
The second half underway. Tom Pullen up towards the halfway line. And now Reece Cooper trying to go over the top.
Yeah, Bart, so I've spoken to both coaches at half-time.
Here's Cooper. Still Cooper. And 3 Magic players coming across to do a job on him there. What did they say,
Yep,
Damien?
Mick Bowles reasonably happy. Obviously, they need to score, but obviously not concerned, so he's happy with that. And I think he's just going to see how the game pans out. And then he'll start pushing numbers forward. But also, he knows he can't concede.
There's Swan. Yeah, it's a tough situation for him to be in.
Bobby Newmoff, he was obviously happy with the first half, not conceding a goal. They've had a few chances, just need to be a bit more clinical in front of goal. But also, he said the last 15-20 minutes they started dropping off in midfield, giving the Olympic a bit more space. So he wants the intensity to remain nice and high and close them.
As for Rob Vigili, nowhere to be seen, Smudge.
Rumour has it he's supposed to be 70 metres away from the field, but we did catch him in the toilet, which is about 71 metres away.
Yeah, or as direct as the wall goes, is about 2.5 metres. However, everyone's entitled to a twinkle.
Yeah, that's right. But also, just on that, he did go and ask permission to Fisher, and Fisher gave him permission to go to the toilet.
Did hear him say that. He actually invited Fisher to come in the toilet with him, said, if you need to hold my hand, feel free. Declined.
Here's Leo Bertos. Yeah, I think Gary Fisher just had to make sure he wasn't knocking on the wall, code to his players. Here's a ball in for Goodchild in the middle.
And I can confirm Robert Vigili is disguised. It looks like he's carrying about 3 pillars underneath his jacket.
Here is Cody Lucas.
On that, I'm sure that Bobby Newmov's got it covered. He's all right. You feel good.
And we've just got a man down here, Michael Finlayson. He's down. And Peter Haynes is going to take the throw. Down to Tommy Pullen.
It's going to be very intriguing this second half. I think it's going to plateau out for a little bit and really heat up with about 20 to go. That's my feeling. Even if the Olympics, if it's still 0-0 after 20 minutes, you know what? There's still a chance.
I'm with you. I think that this game, whilst Olympic don't concede, there's just a threat. That threat of them coming into the game, and if it's still at this score line with 20 minutes to go, Olympic are going to have to chance it because there's no tomorrow for them if they don't. So,
as like Maitland today, like they put pressure on Edgeworth in the last 15 minutes, and you know what? Edgeworth sat really deep, and they looked like they were under pressure, and they had a few good chances.
And similar scenario could happen right here if Broadmeadow don't score. So, with a game like this, very exciting. This Olympic crowd, which is predominantly Olympic, for me, they'll lift the team. And the players, you can still see they're buzzing. Mooney, busy. In fact, there's all of them.
Here's Kanarowski going to ground under the tackle.
Good challenge by Mooney.
Here's Simon Mooney diving in. Here's Mooney, cuts inside Hoole. Rolls the ball across to the far side to Swan. Back to Andrew Swan from Matt. And Andrew goes to Kane Goodchild. Kane Goodchild trying to turn and John Griffiths with the interception. He surges downfield and finds Vigili on the far side.
Just on John Griffiths, he has been immense tonight. Him and Josh Pennington have been rock solid at the back, but Johnny Griffiths made some crucial challenges.
He was selected in that Northern New South Wales select side to play against the Jets, which didn't end up happening. Just shows you what a class player he is, as Matt Hoole has the ball cleared out from under him by Tommy Spencer and over the sideline.
And Bart, did you mention, obviously, the Jets play Edgeworth in 2 weeks? So
yes.
Are we going to be covering that?
Well, that's still up in the air. I haven't got confirmation. I assume it's most likely we will be, but I'll have to get that confirmed by the powers that be at Bar TV. So here's Vigili. Rolls it across the face, and somehow for the second time in the match, it hasn't found its way in the back post.
You know what? That reminded me of the goal last week. You weren't there, Bart, but you know when Vigili crossed the ball and Bradbury came in the back post to make it 3-1. Very similar scenario.
Sure was.
It was a lovely ball. I did watch it back on Bar TV, that one.
Yeah, it's either going to go in or you want someone on the back stick to tap it in, and that's what happened last week. Unfortunately for Broadmeadow, it didn't happen here tonight.
Tom Pullen. Hamilton Olympic, their home record. They've lost just one of their last 21 matches at home. It was to Maitland last year, 2-0. And your man, Harry Maguire, scored for Maitland on that occasion. Coached him at Lake Macquarie, is that right?
Sure did, end at Maitland as well. He's a wonderful footballer, Harry. He's naturally gifted and terrific player.
Just on him, where's he these days, TC?
Look, I did see him a few months ago, and he said he was playing in Churches leagues or thereabouts. So I think he's just enjoying playing his football without the rigours of the training and all that sort of stuff, and that happens. But great football. And I feel sorry for anyone who's playing against him in that league, to be honest.
Here's Vigili towards the middle. Finlayson with a touchback towards Matt Hoole. And now Tommy Spencer. Mooney down towards the middle. And that'll just trickle down to Nick Hartnett. And for Hamilton Olympic, in terms of points in the regular season, it didn't matter whether they were home or away. 50% of the points came at home and 50% came away from home. But, and this is the stat that matters for tonight, more goals conceded at home. 62% of the goals they conceded were here at Darling Street Oval.
Yeah, you find it, Darling, because it's such a small pitch, to create a chance can only take a few seconds, to be honest, especially in transition. If you transition nice and quick, so you're never out of a game here.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what a great atmosphere it is. Like, you get small pitch and everyone's right up tight in the sideline like we are, and it's just a really good atmosphere down here at Darling Street.
And the horns are going off as well as we see free kick go Olympics way. Now, the other stat that stood out to me, we were talking about before, Damien, in regards to Edgeworth winning matches, is that Hamilton have actually only won 5 of their last 11 matches.
Really? So that's all about momentum. We talk about momentum, and we talk about what's the word, TC?
A roll on?
Yeah, a roll. No, I'm after another word here. It's when the habit of winning. You get into a habit.
Good child. Runs away towards Matt Swan. Luke Vigili's on his case immediately. Swan back to his brother. Identical twin, Bertos. Reece Cooper, he scored from here against Maitland, and that took a deflection, but luckily for Broadmeadow, straight into the greeting arms of Nick Hartnett.
I found my word there, Bart. Sorry about that, TC. You get into a habit of winning, don't you? You just know how to win, and you can close games out. So Edgeworth, they're in a habit of winning.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and you do get used to it.
Vigili on his left foot. Not enough power on that one, and Tom Pullen there at the near post to make the grab.
And it's hard to put your finger on what it is. It's like, you won last week, and your players just got that confidence to do it again, and we can do it next week.
Mooney with the header over the top towards Swan. I thought there was someone coming in at the back post, but Kane Goodchild just back a bit.
I remember in 2005 when I was coaching Broadmeadow, and I was talking to Rob Vigili, he was coaching Edgeworth at the time. I remember that year, we only conceded 6 goals for the whole comp. However, we just kept winning 1-0. We were just in this habit. We weren't playing pretty stuff, but we just tend to grind out a result. Get a lead and grind out a result.
Yeah, there's an English Premier League side just done that last year.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
They weren't big margins every week, were they? Just a win, hold it, grind it, whatever it is, get one late, hang on.
And you look at their possession rate; it's always less than the team they're playing, even when they're playing a bottom team. It was all about transition and counter-attacking football.
But just that belief to win.
Exactly right. That's the word I was looking for, CT. I found habit, but it's belief.
Okay, can run with that. Just like a believe in your scarf.
Here's Reece Cooper down in that far corner of the ground. So while they've won just 5 of their last 11, they've lost just 4 of their last 40. So they don't lose very often, but in terms of winning of late, they haven't won very often either.
You know the thing, Bart, to win trophies you need to win, and it's all about winning, and that's why Edgeworth has won. Had only one draw all year.
There's up the ground. They pick a good time to have a draw, don't they, Edgeworth, in the final series? It doesn't.
Oh,
Goodchild wins the free kick for Hamilton.
Pennington very lucky there.
Yeah, Goodchild was claiming it was a handball from Pennington and intentional. And you know what? Oh, gee.
You know what? That ball went through. They were on then, so it was a great handball by Pennington.
Yeah, terrific. That's as smart as it gets.
Andrew Swan towards the back post. There was Goodchild. He couldn't get power behind the header. Simon Mooney spins and turns towards Goodchild. Now across the face.
That was a terrific ball. Terrific turn by Goodchild. Your cousin.
Yeah, my cousin's just absolutely done it. That ball whipped across the face there. Anyone in there. You know what? In the position like he was there, you don't even look. You just play that ball and expect your teammates to be there. And if they've got the time to get there, they're going to be there. But unfortunately, you just didn't have the troops in and around it.
Just the last few minutes, Magic have been dropping a little bit deeper in defence. They're quite square, like we spoke about before. Just dropping a little bit deeper.
They have Olympic pushing up. 31 goals in his 2 seasons at Hamilton Olympic for Kane Goodchild. 13 last season, 18 this season, and the Golden Boot as well.
Well, this is the problem for Magic. If I see them conceding somewhere, it's because they are square at the back, and someone like Goodchild that we mentioned before, Smudge, he's capable. And it's not just him. There's others. There's Bertos. There's Mooney.
Here it is. Goodchild turns and spins. Mooney with a shot, and Hamilton Olympic are back in the tie. Goodchild let it run onto Simon Mooney, and the home side lead by a goal.
Great turn by Goodchild for Mooney. Mooney slams it home. I'll tell you what, like we said, if Olympic score nice and early in the second half, it's game on.
It is game on, and you know what? Simon Mooney will be absolutely ecstatic with a finish like that. He's just absolutely hammered that home, and it's gone through. It looked like got a bit of a touch on its way through, but he won't care less. That thing's in the back of the net, and now it is back game on.
7th goal of the season for Simon Mooney. And I'll say I do not think there has been a goal more important than that for him this season. He scored against Magic earlier in the season when they played.
You know what?
3-1 win.
Sorry, but even though Magic are up in the tie, the pressure's on Magic at the moment.
Here's the ball wide looking for Mooney again, and all of a sudden there's running in Olympic. Damien, you noticed that Broadmeadow were dropping deep, and we noticed that Olympic were pushing up, and now they've conceded, and they've got to get themselves out of this.
Oh, Goodchild. That was quality.
As here's Grant Brown across the face. Spencer, what a touch that is. Imagine, and we were saying you only need a second goal, and all of a sudden Olympic are going to the grand final. Mooney with a shot. Blazes that over the fence.
Oh, he'd want that one again. He'd just want to get straight over the top of that and get his weight a little bit more forward over the ball. Just keep it low and drive it home. You know what, Smudge? This is fantastic stuff. He spotted at the River Dirties with his mum and dad, Tim and Lynn, last night. And then he's down at Snow's Patisserie having a bit of a extra hot coffee. He's buzzing for this game, and so are his teammates. When you've got that opportunity, just like he's just done, then put over the bar, they're the ones you go home at the end of the night and think, oh, gee, I wish I had that one in back.
Yeah, you know what we said last. You know, you're saying TC, which I sort of went, no, I slightly disagree with you, that, you know, Olympic need to score in the first half. Like I said, as long as they score in the first 10, 15 minutes in the second half, now the pressure's on Magic. Even though they're ahead on the tie, the pressure's on Magic.
And as you said, you're never out of a game here at Darling Street. They score one. Tommy Spencer almost put another one in, and they were in the box seat then if he puts that away. But there's plenty of time.
Well, that's right. I mean, we saw it this afternoon where Maitland were putting it in right into the 4th minute of extra time. You know, it still wasn't over.
How much emotion does Mick Bolt show? Because I looked at him as Hamilton scored the goal. He didn't look like he was showing too much emotion there.
Well, I've known his uncles And I know his brothers and sisters. None of his uncles are bald. His brothers aren't bald. It's not hereditary. They just rip the hair out.
I spoke to him just after half time, and he was quite calm actually. He just said we just need to score early, and then we'll push numbers forward. Exactly what happened.
He comes across as a very calm manager to me. Speaking to him in interviews, under pressure, he does come across as a very calm coach.
Look, he's a great guy. He's a great dad. He's a great husband.
He's the people's person, isn't he?
He is, but look, he feels the emotion as much as the next person, and let's not be wrong about that. He's just been around a long time. He's understood how the game works, and he's been through a lot of experience, and he's just not going to give too much away down there. He's just going to keep things in check. And as I said before, he's been around this thing for a long, long time, and he knows how it all works. So, there's no use him, really freaking out that we're talking about before, Smudge. He knows at the end of the day it's a game, but one there's a lot of people are passionate about, and he's very good at these days at just keeping things very balanced and together, and that has an impact on your players as well. So, if he's given that message that he said at half time that you've just mentioned before, then good, because that'll give these players a lot of confidence, and they certainly haven't backed off when they've come back out.
Well, is there a twist in the tail on a cold night at Darling Street? Beautiful night for football. Just enough dew to the ball. Allow the ball to whiz around out there. And it's Olympic. Goodchild gets cleaned up by Piddington.
I love the battles between Piddington and Goodchild. We called it the McGregor versus Nate Diaz.
Here's Mooney. We'll have to come back to your UFC talk, Damien. As Matt Hoole with the header away towards Bertos. And Grant Brown to Mooney. Into Bertos. Bertos goes back to Mooney. Lovely touch from Mooney to Bertos across the face. John Griffiths over towards Mooney again. But it's still Hamilton on the attack. Still Mooney and Matt Hoole. Gives away the free kick, actually. Andrew Digby gives it to Magic. A little bit of confusion out there.
That was a wonderful ball in from Bertos, wasn't it? He's similar to Goodchild before. He didn't look. He just expected someone to be there. Terrific ball in. Just unlucky there wasn't anyone just in the vicinity.
So Nick Hartnett. Big season it's been for him with the free kick.
Just on Magic. They're looking a little bit rattled at the moment, Magic. Dropping deeper.
Bobby Newmouth looks nervous on the bench. He does look nervous. He's standing up. Very close to the fourth official. As Reece Cooper gets bumped to ground.
Imagine how Robert Vigili feels at the moment because he can't do anything about it. Provided he's 70 metres away.
Do you feel less pressure in the fact that, he's away from it all?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
The fact that you can't have any influence whatsoever, you can't make an adjustment, a change, you see something and you can't do anything about it. You're ejected, you're out.
Yeah, that's right.
He'd be hating it, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. I would be.
And ball over the top for Finlayson. And Tom Pullen gets a little bit of a shoulder from Michael Finlayson.
Look at Magic. They're dropping really deep. I'm not liking that. I think they need to push up a little bit more. Because the thing is, if balls get played through, they skid onto the goalkeeper.
Outstanding atmosphere tonight at Darling Street. Very small and close ground. And Andrew Digby is walking across and handing out a yellow card. Is that to James Vigili? I think it is. Was there anything said there, or was he going back to where he played advantage? I'm just trying to remember that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. We've got no replays here tonight, so I'm not quite sure.
So Olympic with the throw.
Still half hour to go, Bart. Long way to go.
A long, long way to go. And Olympic are only a goal away from going through to the grand final. Spencer now just pulls it inside the near post. It's a corner. Gee, we've had two fantastic, dramatic semi-finals up to this point, haven't we? Spoiled.
You know what? If I was Magic, I'd probably adjust my side a little bit here at the moment. I'd probably play one up front, one in behind, play like a 4-4-1-1, just to tighten up the midfield a little bit because they're getting too much space, the Greeks or Olympic at the moment.
Here's Bertos towards the back post. Now away for Cody Lucas. Peter Haynes' header. Now Piddington. There's Pettit away. I shouldn't say Pettit. Matt Hoole. He's on the bench. Scott Pettit tonight. As is Vigili. And now Reece Cooper. Spencer. Little touch onto Swan. Can Hartner get out? makes the grab, Nick Hartnett. Big
Great save. Great save. Well read, wasn't it? Great ball in by Spencer.
Runs down to Tom Pullen.
Hey, Bart, we were saying earlier today in the earlier game, I love semi-final football. There has to be a winner. I just love it.
What did you do this morning?
Believe it or not, I got up at 6 o'clock and went for a run.
How long was it?
Oh, about 8-9 Ks. No, about 7 really.
Good. Well, that's a good run. Good solid run. 7 Ks. Here's Leo Bertos onto Brown. Now Mooney. Good child. Little ball through. Well, if you love semi-finals, grand finals, going to the next level. Good child. Jumping away from all defenders. And then taken down. John Griffiths got in. And now Cale Bradbury. Huge moment for Broadmeadow. Cody Lucas has to get across. Bradbury steps around him. He's taken way too many touches, Bradbury. And in the end, Hamilton Olympic.
Oh, this is great stuff. I'm loving this.
What a moment. What a moment. You got it. Bradbury was onside. He's got away. Absolutely in the box. There's a chance that he could have pulled the trigger a bit quicker.
We saw it open, didn't we? From this angle, there was an opening there.
He should have pulled it a little bit quicker, and he was on. Just what we said. Olympics pushing numbers a little bit forward. They need to be careful. They can't concede. They can score in the last minute, go 2-0 and win the tie. They need to be careful.
We said was Luke Vigili last week was here's the Olympic chant going up. What an atmosphere tonight. But I was saying last week, Luke Vigili's moment on halftime was used. That could be the moment for Magic tonight. It goes against them there, Cale Bradbury. It's Kane Goodchild. And then Luke Vigili clears it up towards that man, Bradbury.
Well, personally, I thought Bradbury was a little bit quiet last week in the first half, and we spoke about it. And then all of a sudden, you started to receive some ball that we were talking about, getting through balls in behind the lines, that sort of thing. And he seemed to me proves to be the difference. And I love the way he went about his football in the second half last week, and maybe he's going to turn something on if that's anything to go by in the next 15, 20 minutes.
To be honest, I thought Magic were quiet in the first half last week and lucky to go in 1-0 down.
16 goals for Cale Bradbury this season, so that's inclusive of the 2 last week. Scored 16 across his season last year.
Magic very deep here, which is a concern.
Here's Kanarowski, clears it into good shots. It's up for Mooney, well blocked by Matt Hoole.
Great challenge by her, oh wow.
It's backs to the wall for Magic, isn't it?
Yeah, they're getting deeper and deeper, which as a coach I wouldn't like. You need to push on a bit.
It's very similar to the match last year when Hamilton played Lambton that second leg. Hamilton led 2-1. Lambton got a goal back to lead 1-0. Then Lambton got ahead 2-1. And Lambton were dominated the game. And as soon as they got ahead 2-0, Hamilton all of a sudden started attacking because they had to. It'll be interesting if Olympic do grab another one.
Oh.
As here's the ball towards the back post. Cleared away. If they do get another one, Broadmeadow, they're going to have to throw caution to the wind all of a sudden. They haven't had to so far tonight. Cody Lucas goes long towards the back post, but there's no one there except Jaden Barber. And he's in a Magic shirt. Up towards Peter Haynes. Kyle Hodges there.
Good challenge by Haynes. Just to spoil the ball down. Unfortunately for him, he lost his footing.
And if Hamilton Olympic can get through tonight, especially considering 3 of their starting 11 at the start of the season are out of the side, and maybe even 4 with Tom Davies not playing since about round 7 going overseas. So maybe you could say 4 players out of their starting 11, their best 11 this year, not playing tonight.
And Tom Davies was one of their best before he left.
He was outstanding. And he did the job on James Vigili in round 6 that pretty much, I'd say, won the game for Hamilton. Snuffed out chances.
What a great ball by Reece Cooper to pull out Simon Mooney, but unfortunately for Simon, he was offside.
Yeah, technically very strong, wasn't it? He had to deal with the spin and the turn. You know what? If you're watching this from home because you couldn't make it here tonight, I hope you can feel the energy and the excitement that's a part of what's here, because I think this is as good as local football gets. I can't see from an energy point of view and the quality of the football. We had a great game this afternoon, but because it's so tight and there's lots of people here, the atmosphere is electric, so I hope you're enjoying it at home.
Kanarowski rolling that one over towards Vigili. Finlayson diving in with Spencer, giving away the free kick.
Or wherever you are.
I'm just trying to think. Has Tommy Spencer got a yellow? Is he on a yellow card already?
Not quite sure, but that was a rash challenge.
It was.
I thought that could have been a yellow card, but
I thought that's why I was wondering whether he was on a yellow or not.
I thought he might have been, but I'm unsure.
Lawrence Fotef warming up on the bench. Here's the free kick. Tom Pullen, well, John Griffiths had a chance at the back post. Tom Pullen was unsure, and that's one of those moments you'd say Danny Oland would come out and grab
he comes and grabs that. And you know what? He transitions really quick, and then Olympic are on the attack. And that's nothing against Tommy Pollen. He's had a great game and a great season when he's had to step in. But Danny Ireland is a standout keeper of the season.
Look, no doubt. But, I mean, different keepers do different things, and they play different ways, just like different people walk and talk differently. He does it differently, and he's got his strengths, obviously.
Is that a defensive move from Broadmeadow?
I think so. Matty Hill hasn't had much football over the course of the year. He went overseas for 2 to 3 months, I think, and he came back in about round 15. So I know he's underdone fitness-wise, so they're probably looking just to get some fresh legs out there.
Here's Finlayson. Wide to Peter Haynes.
It looks like Lawrence Fotef has gone in swap for Matty Hill in at left midfield.
He's been playing at right back for the
That's
majority
right.
of the season, but Jaden Barber's there tonight.
You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably bring Jaden Barber in the middle of the park and push Lawrence back to right fullback where he's accustomed to, because Jaden Barber can play in the centre of the park.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Lawrence play there before. I'm not sure, how suited he will be, but hopefully he has got some history there. I'm not sure.
Cody Lucas. Up the ground. Good shot. Just run off it. Swallow the ball!
That one's been called offside.
Damien was up. Damien was off.
The flag was immediately up from the lines lady. Absolutely immediately up.
Great finish by, was it Matt Swan? No, who finished it?
Matt Swan. Roll it.
Great finish. Magic still alive.
But that shows there's a goal for... there is no doubt in my mind that Olympic will score another goal tonight. It's just a matter of whether Magic can get one. Just over 26 gone, so 19 left.
But you know what? They need to be careful because Magic's got goals in them as well, I think.
I think Olympic will get another one. It's just whether they can hold out.
Yeah.
Magic.
Look, at the moment, it's just vital for both teams to, like we spoke about, both backlines, how important they've been, and the players that are sitting in front of them, making sure that they just hold that shape, and make sure that they keep things solid. As Peter Haynes comes off the park, he's put in a good effort tonight, Smudge.
Yeah, this is, Peter's a class act, Peter Haynes has been one of the leading goal scorers and one of the best players in the local league for a number of years. You know what? He's worked his butt off tonight. But you know what? Paulie's come on. I think they just probably want to close down this midfield a bit tighter.
Yeah, Paul...
a bit more energy into the middle of the park, I think.
Yeah, and Paul Shikawa, he played... I'm pretty sure he would have played close to a full match. Pretty much close to a full match in the 22s match out at Edgeworth today. So he's played at Jack McLaughlin in Magic's 3-0 win over Western that got them through to the grand final in the 22s. So he's got some... some kilometres in those
sometimes
legs.
You look at that sub. Sometimes you need a guy like a Peter Haynes on the park for experience. You know what? He's probably ran out of legs in the middle of the park. I would have thrown him up front, maybe drop Bradbury or someone back in the middle of the park, or even just change his shape a little bit, because sometimes you need experience on there, to close out a game. There's still 20 minutes to go.
They've got the likes of Piddington as well out there for Broadmeadow in terms of experience. 280-odd games for them.
268.
268, was it?
Yeah, you told me last week.
Here's the ball towards the middle. Pin ball around. John Griffiths with the clearance. That's an impressive record.
Yeah, I brought him when he was about 16 or 17 from the Jets youth, or Newcastle United youth.
Spencer. The touch to Swan. Looking towards the middle. Andrew Swan it was, and this one straight to Hartnett. Matt Swan thought he'd put Olympic.
What's your thoughts, TC, with about 15, 17 to go?
Well, here is a moment. Just Josh Piddington is down in the box, and it's not looking good.
That'd be a major concern for Magic.
Look, Benny Higgins is just warming up, Smudge, and
the thing with Magic, they've already made 2 subs.
So Scott Pettit won't come on, which you'd expect he probably would have come on if Piddington is okay.
Yeah,
I think the reality, Scott Pettit just looking on the bench, I think he knows right now, if Pito comes off, he doesn't get a start tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
And he knows he'd make an impact in this game. In his head, and it's true in his ability, he'd come on and do some real damage. He's just busting for his opportunity, just like Comerford did this afternoon. He'd be absolutely... He's got hands on heads right now thinking, Pito, get up. And he knows Pito's as tough as anything going around.
Oh, Pito never goes down, as you know.
Never. Yeah, so he's getting some treatment now, and Scotty Pettit...
And he never comes off the park for treatment. He'll go down, Bill treatment gets back up.
Scott Pettit on and drop Lawrence Fotef back?
I wouldn't. I'll go like for like and bring Higgins straight on. He's played there before. He's played there all year virtually. It's a like for like. You don't want to change the structure too much. It's too tight.
Especially in a big moment game like this. You just can't. You'd have to put Ben Higgins in there for his experience and his understanding of these types of games. He's been there plenty.
Oh, 100%. The other thing is, if Magic don't concede, they get through.
And Mick Bolch is standing up now in the Magic bench, in the Hamilton bench, I should say. He's been sitting down for most of the night. Tommy Spencer dodges away from a couple. And then flying on the ball was John Griffiths from centre back. He charges up the ground. So they're down to 10 for the moment. Paul Shikawe. That pace he's got and those bright yellow boots from Zambia. And now Griffiths gets clipped by Andrew Swan.
Good decision by the referee to let allow play go on.
Digby plays it on and Fotef to Shikawe. Trying to control. Lovely play from Shikawe. Gets away from Spencer. Gee, that close control from Shikawe is brilliant. Fotef to Finlayson. And if Broadmeadow don't go through to the grand final,
great challenge.
The final coaching performance of Bobby Newmov and Rob Vigili, which he didn't get the opportunity to partake in. Did Rob Vigili tonight? Michael Finlayson.
Knowing Rob Vigili and Newmov, they'll be back sometime in the future. Don't know when.
All over the top, Bradbury trying to get on the end of it. A goal for Broadmeadow, and you'd say pretty not certain, not sure, not.
Look at this, 4v3 to Olympic.
As here is Goodchild. Down towards the byline, shoulder to shoulder with Kanarowski, and it's just going to be a goal kick. But yeah, you think so? Piddington is just trying to check if he has gone back out there. Josh Piddington, he is. He's gone back out.
Nothing would stop Josh Pennington.
No, I mean, as I said before, he's as tough as they come, and we've seen him go down and get some treatment was concerning. Just had a text from Reece Thompson before he's sitting at home. Smudge.
Hey, Reece, how are you, mate?
He's, obviously feeling very, how would you feel after today? But he's sitting at home. Unlucky day, mate. That's just the way it pans out. And you know what? He's obviously not out celebrating. He's home just licking the wounds a bit. And but you know what? If I've got something to say to Reece Thompson and Maitland Football Club, he'll hold your heads high. You've done a great job throughout the season. Look at where you were 2 years ago and, where you've come through that period and where you are today. You come back to that.
Here's Carl Bradbury. Goes back to Kanarowski. Now Fotef with the shot towards the back post. It was curling rapidly towards the back post.
And Maitland Football Club have pushed the champions of last year and the champions of this year absolutely to the
90th minute.
Well, it's actually the 94th minute, and they went it the whole way, and they had a good plan, and they got lots of experience in the team, and they've I just thought they did the whole package really well. As we said before, for me they were my dark horse. I thought they could have caused an upset on the way through, but congratulations to them, and they'll be back again next year. Don't worry about that.
The future looks bright. Matt Thompson and Dean Heffernan at the helm. Reece Thompson will still be around there. They're going to have a big season. And the heart they showed this afternoon was incredible. Here's Grant Brown pulling down Bradbury. Bradbury and Brown with a bit of push and shove. Andrew Digby just getting everyone to calm down.
Yeah, he needs to calm the players down, Diggers. This is what he's good at. He talks to all the players, calms them down, then gets on with it. Just on Reece Thompson, he just sent a photo through watching Bar TV. Mate, congratulations on a great year. I thought tactically and structurally, the last two games have been superb from you, Matty Thompson and Dean Heffernan. Well done, mate, and party with the boys next weekend then.
Yeah, that's what it is, and they will too, because they've had a great season, and I don't want to harp on it, but they've come a long way, that footballing community. And what I love about Maitland area is that they've got such a big drawing pool of junior talent, and they attract it, they talk about it, they involve their whole community, and it's a great thing for Newcastle football.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got a soft spot for Maitland Football Club because I'm a Maitland boy. So
here's Finlayson. Burtos lot of shirt pulling going on tonight, a lot more than what we saw this afternoon.
Hey, full credit to
Trust
Digby
Maitland.
because this has been a very intense game, isn't it? There's a lot at stake, like this morning's game, but he's handled it very well.
Here's Bertos going along. And now Spencer. Piddington with the header away for Broadmeadow. Shikawa under pressure from Grant Brown. Was there a high foot from Grant Brown? Not so from Digby. Magic fans thought so. Reece Cooper with the throw. Gets it going quickly again.
10 minutes to go, Bart.
Just over 10 minutes and about 20 seconds. So this is the time for Hamilton Olympic to stand up. Undermanned and down. Bradbury almost gets his pants pulled down literally by Cody Lucas. And now Matt Swan across on Vigili. He's done a good job on him as Vigili goes down. Magic fans appealing for a penalty, which would go close to sending them through to the grand final. Here's Luke Vigili. That's a big moment from Luke Vigili. Reece Cooper just couldn't see him coming. And Vigili,
I'll tell you what, the crowd's really coming to the game now.
They're right into it. This is just getting noisier and noisier as we go.
Wojtek gets clipped by Cooper. We might not be able to see the game. All the crowd might be standing up by the end of the match. We might have to stand too.
Just quickly, we're off to the New FM grand final tomorrow. Smudge and Bart. Just had. Obviously, Lake Macquarie will be very, very disappointed. They didn't get themselves into that after having such a great year. Anthony Richards done a great job.
Luke Vigili and Kyle Hodges with the header away. And on that New FM, mentioning Maitland, they were the last side to be the major and minor premiers of that particular competition. Valentine got beat by Wallsend 1-0 last year, and Lake Macquarie, as we mentioned, not there this year. Fotaf.
One of the standout players for that league is a former player of Hamilton Olympic in Sam Walker, and Sam and Tom, Daniel, Chris, are all very close. I am personally with them and their family, and it's great to see the Walkers are watching the TV tonight, Bar TV. They've just got a text from Sam, and said he's loving the commentary.
Yeah, 31 goals this year for Sam.
Well, he said he's impressed with your scarf, although he couldn't see it. He's been hearing about it all year. So
he's a goal-scoring machine, isn't he?
Oh, look,
Sam
you know
Walker?
what? He's an absolute talent, and it's super family, and individually as humans, they're great people, and they're great for Newcastle football. Formerly,
this is Simon Mooney down the far side. I'm pretty certain I wasn't covering it for Bar TV.
Johnny Griff, well defended by Johnny Griff. He's been a standout for me tonight. I
was just going to say, back in 2014, so that was the year Lake Macquarie got relegated from memory. They were, because I wasn't covering it for Bar TV back then. I'm pretty sure Sam Walker was very close to Golden Boot overall in the competition in a Lake Macquarie side that got relegated, which was an impressive statistic.
Yeah, I mean, he's a wonderful footballer. In fact, his brothers Daniel, Chris, and Tom, they're all great footballers in their own right. And Sam can score goals, and he's certainly bound for a big future. He's a long way from done.
There's a nice touch from Spencer. Now Leo Bertos. He shows his experience into a few legs. Good child.
Magic
with the shot. Good
Magic desperate defence.
Kanarowski. And then good child clips Shikawa, gives away the free kick. Magic fans want the card.
Got us tense on the bench. Bolcher's up. Newmoss up. The players are up. Every challenge. They're riding every challenge, every kick. So obviously Bolcher's pushed the next person up front, it looks like. Magic's just keeping four at the back. I think I'd probably just drop one of the deep midfielders a little bit deeper just to create a bit more of an overload at the back.
Just a reminder on how it's faring at the moment. So 3-1 Magic won the first leg. It's 1-0 to Olympic. So 3-2 Magic lead. A goal from Olympic. And they are through to the grand final. But at the moment, as it stands, it's Broadmeadow who are going through with that 3-2 on aggregate lead. Good child. Wins the free kick for Olympic.
Yeah, good child was superb there. Got past the two players. He's a good player, good child. Your cousin's cousin.
He is. He's a real bustler, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to take any
Great
rubbish.
balance for a big fella.
Yeah, and he's just up for it. Every week he's up for it. He's going to push his way. He's going to bundle it. He doesn't care who's in front of him. He's just going to go and tackle it.
Here's the ball towards the back post. And now Kale Bradbury.
The supporters are going at it now.
There is some drama here at Darling Street tonight. As the ball runs away. Cleared away and up over the halfway line.
Pennington's really struggling at the back, but he'll be a worrying fight on.
Shikawa. He just sends a good boil over it. Gee, Andrew Digby's done a good job tonight. He's
been superb, hasn't he?
Vigili. With Swan in front of him. Matt Swan puts his body on the line.
Look, I'm going to give Digby a rap here, Diggers. It's not only what's going on inside the park. If he loses it inside there, it's what's outside the park on a night like tonight. He's keeping good control. So at this stage, we'd like to keep things in check.
And Gary Fisher's just trying to keep everything calm here between the Magic and Olympic supporters just down in front of us. Let's hope things don't spill over as we see the free kick.
Yeah, they're both passionate supporters. It's like a love-hate relationship between Hamilton and Magic.
Yeah, they'll give each other a little kiss and, maybe what was those little chipolata things you were eating last week that I ate?
Yeah, one of those things, yeah.
Those, and, there'll be a bit of souvlaki or something they'll like later, and it's all good.
It's Lawrence Fotef up and over the top. Cody Lucas.
What do you do, TC, if you Mick Bolts now? 5 to go.
Okay, I'm going all for it. We definitely going 2 to 3 at the back.
Looks like they got...
So Cody Lucas, Kyle Hodges has pushed up. Looks to be... I'm just trying to spot him there. Actually, Kyle Hodges still at the back. It's this one across the face. Headed away, out to Fotef. Does he have a shot from there? He decides not. Shikawa. Now Kanarowski. He slipped over Fotef.
Great ball by Kanarowski.
If he didn't slip over, he could have found Kyle Bradbury, who was unmarked on the left, and Bradbury, that speed down into the corner.
And Smudge, it's not just about pushing someone up front. You exploit your width. Try and drag everything as long and as deep as you can.
As Grant Brown dives in and gives away the free kick. So
what do you do here? Short free kick?
No, get it in the mixer. Get it in the mixer.
You know what? I'll go short free kick. Let's get a corner. There's 4 to go.
Get in the mixer. Keep attacking. They've gone the short.
They have gone short. Fotef.
Keep it.
To go in.
He should have played it back, I thought. Played it back to the corner.
Look,
go for you.
4 minutes to go. It's 4 minutes. There's lots of play left in this.
It's Tom Pullen. Goes long for Mooney. Jaden Barber wins the header. And now good child with some space down the left for Olympic. Strap yourselves in for the final 3 and a bit minutes. Finlayson gets in there. Ben Coyner's out there. Knows how to score a goal for Olympic. Cooper. Don't forget Matt Swan put one in a moment ago.
Great defence by Magic. Josh Pennington.
He was just offside. Here is Shikawa. Over the top for Kale Bradbury. He had a chance a moment ago. It's Cody Lucas getting across yet again. Did he take the chance this time? Puts it on his left and puts it into the side netting.
Well defended by Cody Lucas. Made him go on the outside, close the angle, well defended.
He did. You see how nice and low he got. He got his balance right. He was ready to go. He's slightly off. He had his body angled and he was ready to go either side. Everything he's learned as a child there, growing up through his youth, he's pulled it right out when it mattered.
But you know what? That was smart. Because you know what? Bradbury wanted to go inside and have a clear shot on goal, but he closed the angle.
Yeah, and showed him which way he wanted to go.
21 goals for Ben Coyner in his seasons at Olympic. He scored 3 last year, none this year in the first grade side. As here is Grant Brown. Reece Cooper. Can he pull something out of his hat? And Cody Lucas getting tackled by Luke Vigili. Grant Brown takes the throw quickly. Every challenge getting cheered by Broadmeadow Magic. Spencer goes down. And now Goodchild. And now runs over towards the sideline. Cooper. Swan now. Still Swan on that far side. It's Matt Swan to Grant Brown. Grant Brown has the shot and it deflects over. Corner kick.
What are your thoughts, Bart? Do you think there's going to be a goal?
90 seconds to go. Well, my first prediction as of the moment is correct. I thought Olympic would win, but Magic would go through. So on that prediction,
great prediction.
I'm thinking that I said there'd be another goal. Here is the header away.
Josh Pennington, look at he's playing on one leg.
This is as here's Carl Bradbury. What a performance from Pennington. Bradbury, can he seal it for Broadmeadow Magic? Carl Bradbury seals the deal, and Broadmeadow will go to the grand final for the first time since 2013.
They have gone absolutely
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Is that Rob Virgili on that far side? They've gone to.
Oh, it's quite possibly is Virgili, and they have gone absolutely nuts down here. Can't even hear ourselves.
I know, and that was the risk what Olympic had to take. They need to push numbers forward. They need the goal. They left the man on man at the back, and Bradbury, who came into the game second half last week, like he has done today.
And a ball from Shikawe, to be honest, it's a quality ball, and put him in slot and position. And Bradbury, you know what? He missed that opportunity earlier, but he certainly has got it that one away when it mattered. And gee, didn't he finish it well?
Yeah, it's a two-way goals for Magic. Hard to stop from now with a few minutes to go.
Yeah, Kyle Hodges now on the ball, and unfortunately for Broadmeadow, their supporters have broken the the dugout shield here at Darling straight over, so they may have to foot the bill there. And let's hope this doesn't spill over. Supporters getting into a bit of a scuffle now with Magic now. You'd think going through to the grand final, Shikawe. Well, this would be a nail in the coffin. He's offside. But was it Rob Virgili they were going to on that far side? Have you got your binoculars?
You know what?
The spectacles.
Yeah, it is.
Looks like
confident. That's his.
He looks like he's about 73 metres away from the change room.
He is. He's exactly 70 metres on that far side. We know it's a small pitch. So Broadmeadow and Edgeworth, you'd expect now in the grand final. We're now 50 seconds into stoppage time.
You know what? Edgeworth hasn't beaten Olympic, but they've beaten Magic. I think deep down Edgeworth wouldn't mind playing Magic next week.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on there. And that is not full time yet. We're getting ready for it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Just had a text smudge from former Broadmeadow striker Brady Parker playing, I think, for the Boambi Bombers. And he's up there absolutely excited watching Bar TV, just getting into it. And, isn't this a good opportunity, Bar TV, being able to put this sort of spectacle on for people that can't make it to the game. And good to see you watching at home, Brady, and I hope you're well, mate. Back onto the game has only got to be a matter of moments.
I think as there's Coiner up and over the top, good child. But it was a drama-filled night. It was a contest until the last minute tonight with that goal midway through the half from Simon Mooney. But it was Cale Bradbury who finished it. He finished the first leg and he finished the second leg as well. Magic chant is up again here at Darling Street.
Hey, Bart, it could have been a different story with Matt Swan scoring in an offside position, so this could have went either way.
It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it, for Olympic fans, considering they've gone undefeated throughout the regular season. Andrew Digby looking at his watch, and they're going to go out in straight sets.
I do feel sorry for Olympic and Michael Bolch and the whole group, because they've been like they were title contenders. We didn't know which way this was going to go.
Just Piddington. What a gladiator style performance. I'm trying to come up with a word, but gladiatorial style performance from Josh Piddington. I don't know whether he'll be there next week. It'll be a huge loss if he isn't.
He's had a superb game, Josh Piddington. He's been a standout all year.
Gets a hug from Peter Haynes. Brad McKenzie on the bench, the backup goalkeeper for Broadmeadow Magic. He'll be on grand final day next week playing for the 22s. Grant Brown is now in trouble. He plays it straight to Michael Finlayson. This would be the nail in the coffin. James Virgili. Who else but James Virgili to put the nail in the coffin? And Broadmeadow are going to the grand final for sure now.
It's absolute elation.
It's going nuts here.
Broadmeadow Magic fans are absolutely going crazy here. Like, to be honest, Smudge, I've never seen it like this.
It's crazy. I can't even hear myself speak.
Look at the Magic fans just down below. They are going off.
This is Newcastle football at a new level right here.
And I'll tell you what, I can't wait for next week. Magic versus Edgeworth. I predicted it about 6 weeks ago.
Matt, you did.
I predicted it about 6 weeks ago.
I'll give you that.
But
spot on.
But going back on Hamilton Olympic, I agree with you, TC. You do feel sorry for them. They're very unlucky not to have a 2-0 lead. And you know what? They've been undefeated all year. They've had a great season.
And that's it. Full time at Darling Street Oval. What a fight Hamilton Olympic put on tonight. Grant Brown and Cody Lucas on their haunches. Cody Lucas, a performance from him that was outstanding. But in the end, it's Olympic that go down courtesy of 2 late goals from Broadmeadow Magic, Cale Bradbury and James Virgili. Who else for them this season than those two? They've been brilliant. And Edgeworth awaits Broadmeadow in the grand final next Sunday at Magic Park. It will be pumping next week at Magic Park.
It sure will. You know what? There's been some great footballers around today. I think. Look, Josh Piddington for me, without going. There's been a number of players, but the pairing
For both sides, there's been some great players.
Yeah, but I was going to just pinpoint, Griffiths and Piddington.
Oh, 100%.
Well, at times, to be honest, I thought they were a little bit flat, across the back four. But all in all, I suppose you're trying to distract me, but all in all, I thought those two were great. And if I had to put my finger on it, I like the way that Josh Piddington did today. Even when he got injured, he was not coming off.
He was not coming off. I agree. John Griffith made some crucial tackles today. You know what? There was great plays in Hamilton Olympic side as well. Kane Goodchild was a menace up front for them. The back line was solid. Leo Burtis was good in the middle of the park. Tommy Spence was busy. But Magic, going on player of the match. It's between Johnny Griff and Josh Pennington, and you're going for
Josh Pennington.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, he's very experienced. He's led them around. Well, it wasn't just what he did. You look at him through the game. He spoke a lot to his players. He was marshalling it around, and Johnny Griffiths do the same thing too. But I just think that Josh Pennington today was, for me, he was an absolute leader on the park, and overall, I thought that he really, really helped them get home.
And I just want to say, looking, I don't want to talk too much on the negatives, but the post-mortem for Hamilton's season, gee, what a disappointment for them after what's happened the last few weeks. 18 matches undefeated, and the 3 biggest matches of the season for them, and they've lost them, and that's a disappointing thing. But I don't think that's an issue with the squad. I think that's an issue with, they didn't have those personnel. Leo Burtos missing for the FFA Cup match, and then Daniel Bird out tonight with Danny Olin and Jacob Bailey, who are out this week.
100% agree. 100% agree. Danny Olin, for me, is a massive loss. Same with the other 2 players we mentioned. But Danny Olin, for me, he's going to win goalkeeper of the year. He had something like 8 clean sheets for the year. He's been a standout goalkeeper. Massive loss. You know what? Magic knew that, and that's why they're pumping the balls in the box, trying to test out Tommy Pullen.
Just a question, is that the difference? Damien Zane said to me at the start of the season in terms of him rotating his squad, he said Hamilton play, they have their set 11 every week, most weeks. If they get an injury to a couple of those 2, it really hurts them, whereas his rotating squad, if he gets a couple of injuries, he can replace them. Is that something Mick Polch maybe have to look at for next year, bringing in some more depth to that squad?
Oh, you know what? I don't think so. To be honest, they went through undefeated. And, they've just had some key injuries in the last few games, which is, in essence, might be part of the reason why they lost. Like tonight, you have a look. They could have been, if Matt Swan wasn't offside, they would have been 2-0 up with a few minutes to go, and it could be a totally different scenario.
Absolutely agree. And let's just take nothing away from what Hamilton League have achieved this year. They've done a really, really good job in assembling a great side together. They've been competitive. Look, let's face it, a few weeks ago, we didn't know which way this premiership was going to go. And so, for everyone at Olympic, whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. Bolchi, keep doing what you're doing, and this time last year they're in the grand final, and they were a whisker off it this year.
And the other thing, they could have won the minor premiership. There was that game against Magic where they drew towards the end. Kane Goodchild had a few really good chances. If they win that, they would have went on and won the minor premiership. That's what I believe. But you know what? It's going to be a massive game next week. You know what? Sorry for saying you know what so many times, but Magic are playing. They need to step it up a bit, I think, for next week against Edgeworth. Edgeworth are a well-drilled side.
And I don't think anyone can say Olympic weren't in this tonight. Matt Swan, if he's not offside, they could be going through to the grand final.
100% agree.
That's how close it was. You look at the scoreline, Magic win 5-2. That's not a fair reflection of how this was played out tonight.
Yeah, definitely agree. And if you look at the first tie last week, Luke Virgili clears the ball off the line, and Olympic would have been going in 2-0, which might have changed the whole scenario.
For you two, what was the moment of these 2 legs that turned it? Do you think it was that moment?
For me, Luke Virgili.
Yeah, same deal. I mean, if that's a different story at half time, they go in 2-0, yeah?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then we've got a different scenario right now. There was that moment where Bradbury had that chance earlier, where he sort of maybe took the wrong option. The moment with Swan, we've got all these moments. This is why it's been so much fun to watch and be a part of. So look, either way, and again, Olympic, feel sorry for them. Really do truly feel sorry for the way.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like you'd love to have 3 or 4 teams in it, 3 in particular, and
That's the thing. Sides have got to lose. That's the hardest thing.
That's a
isn't it?
reality.
That's right.
You know what? Olympic, hold your heads up high, as Maitland this afternoon, because you've done a great job. And, I can only feel the standard of football every year is just getting a little bit better and better and stronger. There's more players, more kids coming through. It's just fun to watch. And next year, you watch, we'll have a whole heap of new players playing first-grade football coming in off the bench, or a couple of stars never heard of before.
Exactly. And I want to reiterate what you said, TC. As you know, my heart's with Magic. I've been there for whatever. I'd like to congratulate Olympic on a great season. Going undefeated, that is tremendous. And unfortunately for them, they just got pipped at the post at the last minute. But you know what? Mick Bolch, a tremendous guy. He's done a tremendous job this year. I think they've played outstanding football. And I think Edgeworth would be fairly confident going into next week against Magic rather than playing Olympic.
Look, totally agree. And let's just put this one behind us now. Next week coming up, we've got Edgeworth, who are going to play Western Sydney Wanderers on Tuesday night against Broadmeadow Magic at Magic. This is going to be massive. It's going to be a huge.
Is it the biggest week in Newcastle football history? This could be it.
Quite possibly. I can't remember what. I mean, we've had Fiji play in Newcastle in about 1986, and we've had we've had other really big weeks of football, but this one's going to be massive.
All right. Well, you two better go rest your voices, because I've definitely got to rest my voice for the grand final tomorrow. We're going to be at the New FM grand final tomorrow. Walls End meet Bell Swans. Let's hope we get just as much drama as we have had today.
Looking forward to it, Bart. Looking forward to it, but looking forward to next week. Magic in all 3 grades. As you know, I'm a little bit excited about that.
Yeah. All right, well, full time this evening at Darling Street Oval. It was Hamilton Olympic 1, Broadmeadow Magic 2.